Welcome to the Underwater Titan Showcase. The creature that is about to show up in a few seconds is a monster that, according to our records, destroyed a good chunk of the state of Georgia back in 2019 and is so far the longest known Titan in the Monsterverse. She should show up anytime. Ah, there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Titanus Tiamat. This video is the first of a series that will discuss some of the unknown Titans in the Monsterverse. We will discuss its origins and role in the Monsterverse timeline, as well as going through each of its abilities and corporal attributes in detail. If you enjoy watching this content, please take a split second to hit that like and subscribe buttons. That said, let's begin our Titan analysis. Number 1. Location. Let's go back in time in 2019 and focus our attention on this part of the map. Welcome to Stone Mountain, Georgia, a historic theme park built around this massive stone protrusion on the Earth's surface. Before the events of 2019 in King of the Monsters, Monarch launched an initiative to build a containment facility around a Titan that was found somewhere in this theme park. This would be known as Outpost 53. But where exactly? Some may think that it would be found underneath the rock, but since only around 10% of this rock is exposed, there's no way Tiamat would be buried underneath such colossal rock formations. Given that Tiamat is now confirmed to be an aquatic Titan, it is likely that this creature was found dormant in a body of water, and it just so happens that Stone Mountain has an array of lakes surrounding part of its perimeter. The problem is that the largest of these lakes, Stone Mountain Lake, is only 34 feet deep. That's not enough water to house a massive 1,000+ foot long Titan. We would be entering the realm of speculation, but this location in the Monsterverse would probably be connected to a subterranean channel that leads to a deeper series of tunnels. Here is where Tiamat would have been dormant and the outpost built. The entrance to this outpost would not be accessible to tourists visiting Stone Mountain and probably disguised as something else, like a power generator. But we all know that Tiamat never remained down there. Number 2. The Escape. In 2019, some troublemaker known as Ghidorah unleashed an alpha call that reached a good number of Titans around the world, including Tiamat. Knowing that Tiamat was somewhere underneath the surface, it's clear that in order to make it to the nearest large body of water, Tiamat would have had to travel east. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Tiamat has a theme park to destroy. Ghidorah's command wasn't just to wake up, it was to get up to kill. The many tourists in Stone Mountain would have felt the ground shake. The poor tourists on the riverboats would have been the first to perish, as they would have had a front row seat to witness the rise of this giant kaiju. Tiamat would proceed, leaving a path of destruction heading east towards the Yellow River, Norris Lake, and then continued its lake hopping until it managed to reach the nearest ocean. This trajectory just so happens to cross many suburbs, interstates, retirement areas, and tourist locations, exiting through South Carolina into the Atlantic Ocean. Based on this information, the loss of life is estimated to be in the millions. Now, let's discuss what Titanus Tiamat did next. Number 3. The Rebellion. Let's make something clear. Not every Titan submitted to Godzilla at the end of King of the Monsters. Heck, even Scylla picked a fight with Godzilla even after bowing down to him. So what about Tiamat? In the graphic novel Godzilla Dominion, the G-Man made its way back to an old lair of his that was usurped by another member of the Kong species. He was no longer there, something else had killed it, and now Tiamat made its home here. The graphic novel continues in detail. After Godzilla steps onto the island, it's clear that Tiamat was expecting the G-Man and places herself behind him. She immediately jumps out of the water and catches Godzilla off guard. Note that around Godzilla we see a sort of spinning watery vortex. This is because it is confirmed that, like Ghidorah, Titanus Tiamat has telepathic abilities with nature. Ghidorah can attract storms thanks to its bioelectric composition, but Tiamat can control water thanks to a certain element within her body that attracts and manipulates any watery liquid. This vortex siphons Godzilla deep into the water. The graphic novel also tells us that her fins are razor sharp, so much that they can cut deep into Godzilla's hide. Godzilla quickly bites her skull, but Tiamat now responds with a blinding acid. This acid is most likely some sort of corrosive material that would irritate any other opposing kaiju and maybe even disintegrate other smaller organisms. Godzilla can no longer see visible light with his eyes, but he can see using other methods. That's right, folks, it is now confirmed that Godzilla has thermal vision, allowing him to see in very dark ambience or if he lost his ability to detect light. The fight continues on. It is now evident that Godzilla's underwater combat skills have now been surpassed by Tiamat. The G-Man now knows that if he is going to get out of this one alive, he needs to take Tiamat to a landform on the surface. The problem now is that they are too far away from the surface. Tiamat has taken Godzilla far too deep through an underwater tunnel, one which eventually led to an air pocket in the depths. This is just what the G-Man needed. Once on a dry surface, Godzilla quickly grabs Tiamat by the throat and uses its massive muscular tail to swat Tiamat against a rocky structure. Her long, thin, and elongated body cannot withstand such trauma repeatedly. And finally, with one swift maneuver, Godzilla executes his signature stomp prior to his act of subjugation. Number 4. The Aftermath. At the end of this confrontation, there was one winner, Godzilla. But it was very close. Had this tunnel not led to an air pocket, Godzilla would have probably lost. Titanus Tiamat so far has proven to be one of the strongest underwater titans in the Monsterverse, measuring more than 1,000 feet in length and equipped with bioluminescent fins that are sharp enough to cut through tough hide. Its mouth can expel a toxic corrosive acid that can blind other titans, and maybe, if exposed long enough, could even eat through flesh. From its awakening in Georgia to its appearance in Godzilla's old lair, it can be estimated that the death toll caused by this titan's warpath could be up to the millions, with most of the casualties inflicted happening on the eastern American mainland. Do you think that Tiamat will ever reappear in a future Monsterverse installment? What other kaiju could stand a chance against this titan underwater? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more Titan breakdowns of more kaiju, please leave a like and subscribe. And tell us what Titan you would want to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.